Hi guys, my name's Bill, and in this video I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot a Samsung dryer that won't start. Alright, so when you turn the machine on and set your cycle, select your options and press the start button, the dryer should kick on and run. But what happens if it doesn't? Well, I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot it. Well, let's start by unplugging the dryer from the wall. And then we'll turn it around and get to the back so we can take out the two screws to hold the lid on. We'll take those two screws out and pull the top off, and we're going to look at the belt. Now you should see the belt on top of the drum, and it should be tight, and when you spin the drum, the belt should spin with it. And that's going to tell you you don't have a blower wheel obstruction. That'll cause the dryer not to start. Okay, so if the belt is not going around the drum, then it's broken, and the broken belt switch is preventing the power from getting to the motor, and that's why it won't start. So I'll put a link in the description for a video on how to replace the belt on this dryer, but let's troubleshoot this if the belt isn't broken. For the next test, we're going to need access to the control board, so we'll go ahead and take the 3 screws out to hold it in place. And once you get those screws out, we'll go ahead and pull it out and get it hooked up onto the side of the dryer. I'm just going to use a little clamp. That way I can get in there with my meter. Alright, so what we're going to test here is the motor circuit. Now this black wire is what powers the control board and sends power to the relay that turns the motor on. When the motor needs to run, the relay will close, power will go out on this brown wire, go through the broken belt switch, through a thermal cutoff on the blower housing, through the motor windings, and then over to the neutral, and that's how the motor runs. This yellow wire is in neutral for the control board, so we can test through this. And we'll go ahead and plug our meter lead into the neutral, set our meter to ohms, and we'll connect to this brown wire. And make sure we get a good connection here. And it looks like we're getting about 2 ohms, right around 2, give or take a couple points. And what that means is everything in the motor circuit is good as far as the motor windings, broken belt switch, and the thermal cutoff on the blower housing. Now if you're getting a good reading through all that and the motor still won't run when you press the start button, then the relay is bad and you would need to replace the control board. Now if you're getting an OL reading when you're testing through the circuit, then either the motor windings are bad, or the broken belt switch is bad, or the thermal cutoff on the blower housing, and you would have to check those separately. So that's what we'll do next. Here's a good look at the broken belt switch. It's got the 2 brown wires coming off of it, and this is the idler arm. And when the belt's not broken, it's in the up position like this and the switch is not pushed in. But when the belt breaks off, the arm will fall down and press on the switch and break the circuit to the motor. And we're going to go ahead and take this off to test it. There wasn't enough room for me to get my meter leads into where the brown wires connect without hitting the side of the dryer. So we'll take that 1 screw out so we can work with it a little easier. Here's a little lever that gets pressed in when the idler arm falls down and breaks the circuit. Now you just want to grab your meter and set it to ohms. Now in case you're wondering, there's a link in the description for the disassembly of this dryer. I didn't include it in this one. I didn't feel it was necessary because I already did it once, and you can watch that at the end of this video. So now that we got our leads in there, it should show a completed circuit, which it does. It's going to be our 0.1 reading. And when we press in on the button, it breaks the circuit, and that will cause the motor to shut off. And with the button out, we have our completed circuit again. And our broken circuit. So that's how you test that. So we'll move on to the thermal cutoff on the blower housing. And to test that, you want to take the 2 wires that go to it. You want to unplug those. And just connect your meter to the 2 terminals. You should show resistance from terminal to terminal. If you show an OL reading, then the thermal cutoff's bad and you should replace it. Now let's move on to testing the motor. And we're going to test between the yellow and the brown wires here. They connect to leads number 5 and 4 on the motor. And we're just going to test resistance across the start windings. You should get the same reading we got earlier on the control board, right around 2 ohms. So get your leads connected, make sure you're not touching anything else. It's kind of a tight fit in there. Set your meter to ohms. And there's our 1.8, 1.7. Now when you press in the centrifugal switch, when the motor kicks on, that'll activate. And now you should read 3.4, give or take, through the run windings of the motor. And there's our 1.9, and that's on the start windings. So that motor's good. If you don't get those readings, definitely needs replaced. So that's what we're going to do right here. I'm going to show you how to take the motor off of this. So you want to grab an adjustable wrench, attach it to the motor pulley, and lay it across the idler wheel. And grab yourself a 9/16 socket. And this is going to be a reverse thread, so you want to pretend like you're tightening it, but it's actually loosening the nut on the blower wheel. And you want to take that nut completely off. Now there's 2 little clamps that hold the motor to the motor bracket. And they're pretty simple to take off. Just use a big flathead screwdriver. There's one on the front and there's one on the back. And once you get those off, that's the last thing holding the motor in place. So you want to reach in with one hand, grab the blower wheel and pull it forward and push back on the motor, and it'll come right out of the bracket there. Real quick guys, before I end this video, if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that button in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. That helps the channel out, and I really appreciate the support that you guys show me. And the next video that you guys want to watch is definitely on how to put the belt back on this machine. The link will be in the description. If you have any questions or comments about the video, you can always put them in the comment section down below. And thanks for watching, guys.